All account
Yep.
numbers.
I need a motion to accept the consent agenda.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Ty,
Mhm.
Skira,
Yep. All in favor?
aye.
Aye. Opposed? No. Okay. All right, let's go on to fire department, please.
All right, we're at 302 runs for the year. As they just left on one to go now. I'm proposing that, we would like to get a turnout gear extractor. The turnout gear extractor is a Super Duty wash machine, that when you put your turnout gear in it, it washes them hard and it spins like in Mach force. And so when they come out, they're almost dry. And by doing that, is what it does is it takes all the contaminants that are in our turnout gear from when we're in a fire, and it pulls everything out, versus a regular wash machine doesn't wash hard enough and spin hard enough, and it just kind of disperses the chemicals, the carcinogens through everything. And so we don't really get clean gear. We've got a decon station on the engine where when we get ready to leave a fire, we take a hose out and some Dawn dish soap and a scrub brush, and we scrub ourselves down. That's the first level of it, to get it off. We got a decon shower, that helps get some more stuff off. But this right here is really the way to go about getting your gear clean. I got two quotes on the very same washer. They're both made by Ready Rack, and like I said, it'll hold two sets of turnout gear. And on that quote that's the cheapest one. Another one is close to $800 higher for the very same thing. It has a soap dispenser, so an automatic soap dispenser, so like us guys like to do, if a little bit's good, sometimes a little bit more is quite a bit better. So it keeps that proportion the way it's supposed to.
Okay.
And so is what I would like to do is I would like to talk to the board about purchasing an extractor. We fight on average of 13 structure fires a year. Firefighters are 10% higher category to get cancer from the carcinogens in them, and 15% higher fatality rates in firefighters from the carcinogens. So I would like to talk to the board about purchasing this unit. And when we do that, we would like to put in a wash tub. If you guys have been in the new station, there's an old kitchen that was in there from the old station. Take that out and put the washer, there's hookup there for it, and then put a big wash tub in there also. And so I'm proposing, I'm estimating by the time we get the wash tub, the washer, everything hooked up, we're probably gonna have like $6,500 into the whole thing. And so what I would like to do is talk to the board about possibly COVID money for something like this.
I do have a rundown of what was spent on COVID, so.
Okay.
And so that's one. Two is we've started a 911 sign. The county's not enforcing it, nobody around, nobody else is doing it, so we here at Norman Township Fire last week at our meeting decided that we were going to pursue it. So if anybody here wants a 911 emergency sign, a green sign with a high-vis lettering, we have applications, we have forms for them. We have some here, there's some at the bank, and we've got some more forms. They're $20 a piece, So township residents, it's $20, and if it needs to be installed, we'll come out and put it out on a fence post or on the side of a tree or wherever you would like it. It's pretty much open to whoever wants to buy one, but if somebody from Dixon Township wants one and they wanna buy it, that's fine, but we're not gonna go put it up. They'll have to put it up. And so, so hopefully that will help things with that part, with locating some of these residents. And then the last thing I have is there is a pretty large diesel fuel shortage starting to occur. And I know we've talked about this before, and I would really like to see what the board says about getting a diesel fuel tank. Because if we can't get diesel fuel, we can't run anything we have. And so I know we talked about it. It's coming. They say there's about 20 days left of diesel fuel supply in the United States right now. I don't know if that's true, false, or indifferent. I have no idea. I don't know what anybody else has heard on that fact. I just don't want to get caught with my pants down and not be able to run our equipment. And so, something for you guys to.
Remember what that was? Where we were at? Because we were gonna put it in a septic tank, right? Is that kind of?
The last one that we looked at was a double wall, cause then you don't have to put it in any type of containment.
Okay.
A double wall tank from Blarney Castle with a pump, if I remember right, was 3,500 or $4,000, something like that. And I think that was for a 500-gallon tank. Now, I don't really wanna spend, $5,000 on a.
But can you get an updated cost?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to bring that up too, cause like I said, everything we have is diesel.
And Barney has those tanks, or is this something we have to wait for? I mean, if
I
this gets to
believe-
be a point where we got 10 days, we get even, the diesel starts getting short, is this something we can, if we have to move on, we will? I mean, we have to protect the community on something like that, so.
Right, and so we've been discussing it, and it's like, I thought I'd bring it up again, and I don't wanna be a pain in the butt, but I just wanna make sure that we're taking care of ourselves.
So we'd have like the 35 for, whatever the tank costs, plus a little bit of money to run electric to it, and we should be good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and so, so that's all I have. I will get an updated cost on it and availability, and maybe even talk to the people at Blarney Castle and see what they're hearing, if they're hearing anything on the diesel fuel shortage.
And as far as the signs go, the county does have a policy. We're not allowed to really put our own policy in. You have to make a report. The sheriff's department gets a report. The sheriff's department goes out and looks at them. Talking to county sheriffs, they're not going out and look for people that don't have address signs, which is busy. So it's one of those things where it has to be put in by a county policy. They have one, but it kind of falls on deaf ears, so that's where we're at. Yes, Ms. Coontz, you have.
Just a question for the chief, if I may. You stated that, of course, the county, it wasn't being enforced by the county, or, is the planning department assisting in any way with these signs? Or I have a road commission meeting next week, if there's anything that I can do to assist, or?
These are just addresses that we're putting out, house addresses. So it's actually a private owner supposed to have them, but
Right.
they don't. They're required to have them by county ordinance, but they don't. We go out on places that there's no address sign.
Sure. I mean, I didn't know if there was like a cost savings to like the fire department going through the road commission to get the signs made. I don't know where exactly the signs are.
Well, is what we've done is we've ordered our stuff. It's called, if you go online, it's Interstate 911.
Okay.
And they're reflective, address signs. And so we get the green blanks, and then, right now we've ordered 50 of them and 2 packets of numbers. And so, if somebody came in and said they wanted to buy one, is what we'll do. If they want it horizontal or vertical, we can put the letters, it comes with a template, and then you can put the letters on, or the numbers on the way the appropriate way. And so we'll make the signs right at the fire station for, that way we can custom to basically any number, address number. I would love to see somehow if the planning, or the zoning, not zoning, like Ben and Bob, when they come in, somebody comes in and get a land use permit, if they came in and bought a piece of property and are going to do something with it, obviously, with a land use permit, make it a stipulation that, well, you should really get one of these signs, and, add it right into the cost of the, land use permit. And so,
I can look at feasibility of that, if that's something we can legally do. If it is, why not?
yeah,
We'll see if it's on the property.
and so in that way it would help, because we have a terrible time, especially at night, when it's dark, and, some people got numbers on their houses, but, fires, it's pretty easy, cause you just look for a big red glow, or the smoke. There it is, we're here, but medicals, it gets difficult. We had one 2 years ago, down on Laverne, between Hoxeyville and 12 Mile. And the caller, we went the other way, we went north, because they said, we didn't realize that they were on the south side of the road. And the caller said, well, they called back on Central Dispatch and said, well, the individual's out on the power line with a flashlight. And it was like, okay, so, and then they said there's a fourth power pole from 12 Mile Road down the power line. And it's like, okay, so we turn around and we look, and there's this guy with a flashlight way down there. And so, the response time will hopefully speed up for us on things like that. And so we have forms, like I said, anybody wants them, they're here. I don't care if it's Lake County or anybody, they're all welcome to them. We'll make them, they'll just have to put them up. And the $20 will cover our cost of putting them together, basically pay for the sign and putting them together, so. Anybody else have any questions on anything like that?
No, I just wanted to make
Okay.
sure there was nothing that the road commission or the planning department in Manistee County could help.
Well, the planning department could do the same, thing with, when you go in and get your driveway permit.
That's the road commission.
And the road commission, yeah.
They
so you get
issue
your-
those.
Yep,
Yep.
and so,
Yeah.
all of them, they could all kind of force feed each other. And so,
I'll make
Good
mention
luck
of
with
that
that.
next week.
okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Alright, assessors, everything's been handled so far, Norman, as far as any rechecks, we'll start those again in December and January. Starting ECF, numbers and sales figures here really soon. Trying to compile that together so that we can get our new ECF numbers for the end of the year. So that's where we're at there. Custodian, Tim just left, he said he leaves. Working on leaves, he's been doing a really great job, taking care of everything. The playground equipment is in, I had spoke with Jacqueline about that. My feeling is we don't try to do anything right now. We wait till spring. I mean, it would be foolish to try to get that in with the winter coming.
We end up, packing that into the crib.
Yeah.
So,
Okay,
and there's still room in there,
okay.
so if anyone needs to be in there.
Yeah, so then that gives us time, we can pick a couple dates in the spring and get that going and figure out what we need to do. Was there like an instruction booklet?
And, yeah, there's a book
There's a book.
of pictures.
Is there a lot of pictures?
Oh, I like pictures, okay.
There's pictures. But it has a blueprint.
Okay. So, yeah,
But,
we'll
that's
kinda
one
need
of that's one of those you gotta make like oversized holes.
to- Yeah,
Like way oversized, because that thing is huge.
okay.
That actually has 4 slides on it.
Yeah, it's a big piece of equipment,
Big.
so we'll have to strip the dirt.
But the only thing is though, where you wanna put that at, it's not gonna work.
Well, we'll have to lay that out first thing, or maybe.
You gotta remember that
both lay
house burnt down
Mhm.
there, and there's nails and glass and
kids. No, so we might have to go on the other side.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna have to strip that.
And then in the front, well, when fishers do that, they just plow it over. They don't dig none of that out.
No, I'm thinking we're gonna strip it, and we're gonna have to put a field cloth down, if we're gonna
Yeah.
put sand or something
Right.
down for the playground, so that might, we'll talk to Tim about what that won't let it permeate through, but if we put that road cloth down to contain the sand and prevent weeds from growing up in there, that might hold anything that's under there down.
Maybe.
Yeah, so, we're gonna have to strip it off 6 inches and put 6 inches of sand there,
Right.
at least.
Or whatever you decide to use.
Yeah. Yeah, wood chips,
I would recommend that.
so yeah, okay, so is that book in here, or is it in the crypt?
There's one in the crypt and there's one flying around in the truck.
Okay.
That was printed off that, Alicia gave me the other day, and, I gave it to Mary, and Mary gave it to Tim.
Okay,
So
So
it's
I'll
in,
give it
I
to
think it's in the transfer station.
we're gonna have to start, maybe have that here and start taking a
Cause
look at it.
I think I got a
Didn't the
photo.
set come with a,
Yeah, oh, yeah, colored set.
Yeah.
We have to see how we're gonna attack this and what stages we're gonna have to
See,
do to
it
get
gives you a,
Gotcha. Yeah, we're not gonna need a bunch of people there the first day. We're gonna need a couple people there with strings, lines, and hole diggers, and, dig the holes. We don't need, and then when we start erecting, then,
yeah, I think there's like, I don't know, 25 to 30 holes that gotta be dug.
just like big pole barn. All right. Great. They're probably close together, so that sand will nice and cave in. Okay. Yeah, all right, so let's
I
start
know
looking
there's
at that.
18, I know there's 18 big poles.
All right. Okay, so, but Tim's doing a great job. He's on leaves. Haven't had a problem. He's got everything pretty much taken care of around here. And he's got a system that he's working on for leaves, so. Transfer station, everything's been going good. Any word on Mr. Hutchins?
He goes in for surgery today.
Okay, so he's still.
I think, yeah, it's today.
So we'll keep our temporary people there.
So,
Okay. Management council. Here we go. We had Bob's was gonna start last week with the weather, so we had to move a few things around. It's gotten a little bit busier, so Vale's trying to balance things happening with the roof getting done. There was a little bit of delay with shingles, the 112 square of green shingles, or 115 square, whatever it is, we weren't being able to get the whole quantity, and then didn't want different dye lots. And then we have the election on Tuesday, so it's like we didn't want people working on the roof when that was happening, or at least not on any of these three sides. There's a baby back there, they could work on it, so it should be happening soon. I see the dumpster sitting here now, so it's gonna be happening real soon. Parks and Rec,
Nothing.
the equipment's in, got it. Planning, you didn't have a meeting, no meeting with planning. And then zoning, I have Bob's report. Accessory building, 3 accessory buildings, a new deck, new dwelling, actually replacement of the one that burnt down, and a shed. So he's got a printout for the year if anybody wants to see that, where we're at there. All right, so we'll move on to public comment, and there was some talk, and I promised some people that I would have some numbers. I spoke with, and I'm gonna go ahead and speak on this first in case some of these other folks wanna talk on this too. The roads. In 1951, townships used to get all the money collected, and then they doled it out to the sheriff's department, they doled it out to the county, they doled it out to the road commission, they did all that. Well, there was an act in 57 that changed all that, and the township only gets about 9% of what they used to get. So that all goes to the county. Now the county board doles it out to sheriff, to the road commission, all that other stuff.
oh, did you wanna, sorry,
That's down here.
okay.
That's
Right,
down.
Right.
Yeah, we have that down here. So, needless to say, your property taxes don't really go into any type of road maintenance at all. It all comes from gasoline tax, the federal, the state gasoline tax, which is what funds our road commission. So, the road commission, some years back, we've had, and I talked to the road commissioner, and he wasn't able to, Mr. Solder wasn't able to make it tonight, but he sent me quite a bit of information, which I do have copies of up here, and I have copies for the whole board. So how this works now is, M55 is not really our problem, Okay, that is not one of our that is what they call a primary road, that's M55, that's completely covered through federal. So that's a road we don't talk about. And then you have secondary primary roads, which are asphalt roads, which would be this road, which would be Hoxseyville, which would be Snyder, the paved roads. And then you have, I'm gonna say this wrong. Those are primary, secondary. Then you have secondary, which are like the village roads that are paved and something. So that's another level. So when you get into this handout right here, what the road commission has started to do is there's sharing. Now, the township has to put up some of the bill. By law, the township does not collect any money for roads whatsoever. So townships, Neckham, I'm using Neckham as an example because I got the whole rundown from their supervisor on this. Well, Neckham a few years back removed their millage for Jaws truck and started a 1 mil millage for roads. Well, Neckham is half the size we are. They're a single township with a village taken out of the middle, or out of by the lake, okay? So they don't even have half of the dirt roads that we have. They just did a re-graveling of roads because that is basically a 50-50 split. If they want to add 2 to 3 inches of road gravel, it's a 50-50 split. They did $189,000 worth of road gravel this year. It did a chunk of their roads. We have more than double their roads. Onekama in 1 mil collects $189,000 a year. We collect 64 with 1 mil. So 1 mil, which 1 mil in taxes is every $1,000 of value in your home, you pay $1 in taxes. So if you own $100,000, if your house has $100,000 taxable value, we pass 1 mil, you pay an extra $100. $200,000 value, you pay $200 more. So so what is really all this talks about is if you go to on this, the one that talks for us is page 3 where it says local road graveling, re-graveling, regardless of township location. So it's on the bottom of page 3. It says labor and equipment costs are covered by the road commission. Material costs are covered by the township. It's about $40,000 a mile to put 2 to 3 inches of road gravel on. We share half of that. It's about $20,000 a road. So if we passed 1 mil, we would be able to do 2.5 miles a year. Okay? No, and this is where it gets a little tricky. We have 127 miles of local roads. 64 of those are traveled every day. Those are like Snyder, those are Seaman, that's Volm, that's all those roads. So, so you'd have about 127 miles that you would have to do. So to do work on those roads at a more consistent basis and at a clip per year, we would have to pass a road millage. If the people want that, I will gladly do that. I will gladly say we put that on. It has to be voted on by the folks, okay? And when it is voted on by the people, the catch is this. Everybody's gonna say, when's my road gonna be done? Mm-hmm. So, even if we go 64 miles at 2 miles per year, that's 32 years to hit every road. That's gonna be our problem. So before we would do a road millage, we would have to put, which are the major roads? What year are you thinking about being done? And then we have the other problem is this really doesn't come into the other 64 miles of roads that are seasonal, because they won't do those. So now those people are gonna vote no, because it's never gonna benefit them. So that's where this is a tough sell. Now, a lot of the complaints are for Snyder and Seaman, because those roads have what we call country curbs, or what the road commission guys call country curbs, where the road, when it was initially built 50 years ago, or however long ago, Scott would know better than I would, that is built below the grade of the land next to it. So it's a bathtub, it holds all the water. Now, yeah, go ahead, Scott.
I just wanna clarify something.
Mm-hmm.
I personally am in favor of a road millage.
Mm-hmm.
But what we really need to do as a community is we gotta get the road commission, the county commission, the road commissioner of our area, the manager, and you, and maybe some of us. We just want our share of road maintenance that they are not doing. Now, if you go down Snyder Road, I lit their ass up on how bad it was.
So did a lot of other people.
And they have came down and they dug some holes so the water can get off the road. And then they graded our road and it was pretty nice, but by like Cedar Creek Road, there was a hole there because the water was all the way across the road. So I called again and I said, the road is perfect, what you guys are attempting to do, but you left the holes. Well, today they were out there and they brought 5 loads of gravel and they filled that hole and another bad one down by Schwamp Road.
It's nice.
And it's nice.
And they dug some ditches along the side too.
Yeah.
like they
Yeah,
said,
they
run.
dug them holes, they took a loader and made, and just like Seaman Road to the golf course, that thing's got not country curbs, there's an old railroad grade down one side of it, and then it's the golf course on the other side. So I'm saying, when it does, if we would get a road millage, you would wanna concentrate on Moss Road, cause there's a big campground down there. North Snyder Road, Seaman Road for the golf course, and Pine Lake Road over here, you know, where all them people live on the lake, and plus there's a campground back there, and of course, and everybody's gotta drive 100 miles an hour, and that's what wrecks the road.
Well, and that, I talked to Miss Putney, who works at the road commission, when I went there, and she, was like, yeah, we received, that was a lot of rain. And-
Oh, exactly.
And I'm not trying to dismiss, Snyder and Seaman are terrible, because they are built below the road grade. But they're not gonna wanna gravel those roads. To spend, you know, the money
They really
actually
don't
putting.
need to gravel the road, they need to control the water.
Yeah,
They need to pick them berms off there, they got a scraper, I worked there for 32 years in a grader, you roll it out, pick it up, and make a pile with it somewhere.
yeah.
On the road right away, and if it just grasses over and it stays there, so be it.
Well, that kind of work, and this is where back in 2015, in this package, there were 2 estimates given to do that kind of work, okay?
See, and that shouldn't be a job, that's road maintenance, and they should be, that's what they're there for.
The problem when Mr. Solden has come in here, I think 2 years ago, he told us this, he's saying that's road rebuilding. The maintenance of what they consider maintenance is grading and adding gravel when they want to.
If you can call that grading, what
I-
they've been doing,
I-
other than the last 2 weeks, that's ridiculous.
I understand. We understand that, we get that.
You know, I really don't have a problem with North Baker. I think it's actually well maintained, with the exception of the puddling. You know, and the fact that it's got the, I call them bowling gutters on the sides, you
Yeah,
know,
and
but
water
I
can't
guess
get
that's
off
what
the
they
road.
all have here, that's what I'm told. But, it's the puddling, and like, I don't mind paying fishers to bring gravel and putting it there, just to stop it, but then I'm gonna get hauled into court. for
Yeah, fishers
changing
can't.
The grade of the road.
So what we would have to do is it's a twofold problem. Snyder and Seaman need to be fixed, raised, reditched, regraded. The problem is, the estimates that we had for those back in 2015 to do that type of similar work and to have 4 inches of compacted gravel on it plus the ditching work, our portion was 117,000. So where we run into the problem is, that almost has to be a special assessment for those folks that live on those roads. And we can do that, that's another way you can raise money for those, is the special assessment. So if we did a road millage, I don't care, we can do 10 mil, I don't care, whatever you all wanna do. We can do 1 mil and we can slowly work at it. The problem is, once we have that, everybody's gonna be like, well, why isn't my road being done? Somebody's gotta make that call, okay? So we wouldn't have to.
You gotta do it by the,
Yeah.
where's the most population in the traffic, you know? Just like that, COVID money, you know, could've went towards that road, some of it.
Yeah, you're correct. Every year when we have to pass the fire and ambulance millage, we worry about it. You know, because there are a lot of folks in here. There are some that, I have no problem paying a couple $100 more a year. There are some that say, I don't wanna pay any more. And that's where it would have to go to the vote of the people if we could have a road millage. The last time I was at a road commission meeting, I was Well, first of all, I went to the road commission and Mr. Shoot, I can't think of his name, Senator Kurt Vanderwall.
Oh, Vanderwall.
We got $300,000 from the state to repave Snyder, okay, to get the traffic coming out of this road. The only reason we got that, it was a lame duck session, and lame duck sessions, they just throw money out there, so we were lucky that it worked out that year. But I was told, Mr. Mobley, if you want this anymore, your town's gotta put up the bill. We grade, we plow, that's our job.
See,
And that's what I was told by every road commissioner on, well, the ones that are vocal. And I'm not gonna say his name, because I do think he's a nice man, and that's just their policy right now, is they send us a year, I mean, you can see in here what our costs are. Local road hot mix, it's 50-50 split. You wanna pave a road, it's 50-50. We can't, we can do a quarter mile, yeah, so we're just talking
That will
gravel.
never happen.
And Snyder and Seaman, we would have to look at, I mean, we could possibly, but even to do the Snyder and Seaman, if it only went up 25%, say it went to our share being 150 at $1 mil a piece, it'd take us 3 years just to collect enough money to do Snyder, and then we'd have to wait another 3 years to do Seaman, and then Moss Road. You know, Moss isn't as bad, but there is a section of it.
So what
So-
happened that all of a sudden, the last 2 weeks, they've been working their butts off, making the road decent for a change?
A
think
lot of it
that's-
was everybody chewing.
It's pressure.
It is the
Exactly,
pressure.
Because we elect to not live on a paved road, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But we also have the right to get to our place without ruining our vehicles.
Yes.
And it's crap, the way that they've been blading the roads.
Well, we had it earlier this year, when they turned every road into the county into a washboard, because
Exactly.
what were they doing? Too much down pressure?
not.
Not-
No, okay, so basically you had a
Oh,
driver
they
that
went
wasn't doing it
slowly
correctly.
around.
And it was literally a washboard.
Right.
We chewed on them, they fixed it. And that's kinda how it's gonna have to work, because every township all 13 townships are chewing on them constantly.
So, another thing, you keep saying, well, we talked about this a few years ago, and we did. But we've done nothing to address it, and it's deteriorating further and further every year. And we can all laugh and go, we can never fix these roads, but we have to. We have to make it a priority. We can't let it go another 10 years.
Well, we
It's
could,
gonna be even worse than it is now, because we didn't address it 5 and 10, 15 years ago.
well, we can look into sending out a mailer to doing a special assessment to raise that road, to fix that road to ditch it. I'd have to get the new money, which he was not able to do before, that's why he sent me the 2 old ones. Cause there was one proposal that was all the way down to Old House, and then there was a proposal just to Robinson. I would
Just
think,
Robinson would be the gig, because it's that boat traffic.
Yep.
That kills that road.
When you guys know you live right there on
So-
the corner.
Sounds like thunder
Oh, yes.
all day long.
yeah, so we
On
would
a
have
holiday.
to look at that and see what prices we could get, and then we'd have to put out what a special assessment would be. And then we'd have to mail it, explain it to you all, there'd be a meeting
Well,
on
we
that.
have to make an attempt.
Yeah,
I mean,
and-
even if it fails, we tried.
I have
But
no-
we've
yeah.
got to try.
And if the citizens that live on that road understand that it's like putting in drainage dishes, it's like putting in sewers, I mean, that all gets applied to people when they put that
And
stuff
we
through.
should go for the standard road millage for the township.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's $100, people might do it. I mean,
We
we know
can look
we
at
would,
language.
but there's other, there's a lot of
And then if we
people.
did get a quarter mile of road that just needed some attention, we'd have some money to go after it, cause sometimes there's sections of road that just muck up and they
Well,
need to be,
And that's
it
what,
might only be 2 city blocks or a city block
and that's what I had somebody actually comment to me privately that their brother lives in Onekama, and they just redid all this with their roads. We're not Onekama. I mean, like I said, we're maybe gonna generate 60,000 with the mill, they generate 189,000,
Yeah.
and they have less than half of the roads we do. So that's where we get it. And that's where the road commission says too, the amount of money they spend on us in Dixon is almost double what they spend on every other township. Well, we're the only 2 double townships, because we have more road miles. I mean, they plow more road, they brine more road, okay, so that's sorry about that. They say we get road grind once or twice a year. They say that we, you know, so they do. And actually, when you look at the numbers, they do. And the bad thing about it is we're also two of the lowest counties for population, or townships in the county for population. So that's where they go. They're like, well, we go where the population is. We go, we can do a mile of road in Onekama and hit 50 houses, and we do a mile of road in Norman and we hit 10. You know, so they have all these, Mr. Solden is very good with numbers.
Oh, yeah.
And he wants to make money on everything he does.
Do they, excuse me, do they have something that you can
That's
put
her
in the
second
road
call.
that tracks how many people
Yeah.
actually?
Yeah.
go down
Second
there?
call
What
since
the
we started.
volume
That's a
is?
sheriff's department thing, yes. Or,
Is
no,
there
state,
any way we
please.
can get that in?
Road
in
commission's
to
got that
find
too.
out
Do they?
what the traffic is?
We can see, I guess that data
In
would
July.
help, yeah, we don't wanna do it now,
Well,
we
yeah,
wanna do it in the
but-
summertime. But
Yeah.
we can look into, talk to the attorney, what it would take to do the special assessment. We could give the folks on, Seaman Road, which would include, what's the first road that you come to, going down?
Cedar Creek.
No, isn't there another one before that where Butler lives? Swan, yeah, Swan, Cedar Creek, Robinson, Andrew Street, if we were to go that far. If we were to go all the way down, we could include, is it Cravens?
Yeah.
Is that the last one?
Cravens.
Yeah.
And there's quite a few houses now.
There is.
on Cravens.
So they might be interested in doing that. Now, I don't know if you could really include Old House because they go to paved road. No, they can go out, they could make
Tippy Dam
another,
Road.
they can turn the other way, they can turn to the west and go out to Tippy Dam, which is paved. So, do they use, Snyder? Not if it's bad. You know, probably if it's good they do, but they would
We
always.
don't
go
use Snyder if it's
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah, I go down to Old House Road and go.
If we had a road
Make it
knowledge
different.
and our own money,
Mhm.
can we hire somebody privately to do any work?
No, we are not allowed
Cause I think
to,
that's a joke, because the road commission's prices are ridiculous.
they are high, and,
Why can't we hire someone privately?
because then we take liability. We take liability of if we create, what was that one where that young lady died, or what they call it, a sand blow? If you don't put enough gravel, enough sand where she hit that,
Blowout.
yeah, if we do something that, if we were to hire somebody that would do it, like even Reeve Riley and Elmer's, when they do projects through the county. They get hired through the county and they're oversaw by the county. So it's all liability, everything has to run through the county on stuff like that. So,
But I think, Rich, just like I talked earlier, you know, we're gonna get a new, road commissioner for this area
Yep.
here within the next month or whatever, whether it be a he or a she, and then we have this meeting with them and tell them we want our fair share of road maintenance, although we're a double township and
We need adequate, what do I wanna say? I want
maintenance.
good maintenance, adequate quality maintenance is what we want.
and
And we
that's,
haven't been given that.
Is some of it lack of training?
I
by
believe it is.
Some of the individuals
Well,
presently
last
doing it?
winter, they went through 2 younger people within 4 weeks. And that was how our roads got plowed, and it just wasn't happening, and they were just
Yeah, they
walking off
need to
left and
train
right.
these new guys, they hire that temporary help in the winter for plowing. Temporary guys.
Right,
And they give them a map, just like Rich is holding up there, and they draw green lines on every road that
And
you're
say
supposed to, and go.
And they said a good luck.
well, and that's.
See you at 3:30.
We had the guy last year leaving pies everywhere, in every intersection, that was the guy who was leaving pies, where he would just leave
well,
the snow.
that's a
in the-
normal thing, that wasn't just last year.
And then, yeah, our road commission does not do anything like it used to. We don't run a paving machine, we don't run the big heavy iron like we used to, those guys just don't do that stuff. They are drivers, for the most part, and I'm not trying to be insulting in any way, but we don't do the projects we
Everybody
used
at the
to.
road, when I was there was heavy equipment operators and there was truck drivers.
Yep.
Everybody's a heavy equipment operator now.
Yeah. And
Most
the-
of them never sat in a piece of heavy equipment.
And I don't know if we even have the iron that we used to have, do we have the scrapers and the road graders and all
They
that
got
stuff?
scraper, dozer, excavator, one on wheels, one on tracks.
There's been one sitting on 55 for
Right
3
at-
weeks.
Okay, so the best thing that we can do is I'll contact Mr. Solden after the election when we find our new rep. and we'll set up a night, not a township board meeting.
No, a
Okay.
special meeting.
We'll do a town hall, we'll do
Yep.
something, we'll put it out there on the sign, we'll advertise it, and we'll try to get people to come. But the only thing I ask is, we have to just make it effective, you know? But we will, and people have told me, and like I said, in those posts that we had, there was quite a few people that said, I pay my taxes, I don't need to pay anymore. Well, roads don't.
No.
You know, they're like, you collect all this money. We don't collect, the township doesn't receive 5% of the taxes we pay. I mean, we get a very small portion doled out to it back in the state. It's not like we're collecting every dollar you pay. And a lot of people think we are. I just paid $3,000 in taxes. Where's that money? Well, we got like $30 in your money. You know, I mean, that's kind of how, I'm saying wrong numbers, but you know,
So I
we don't
think we
collect that
should,
money.
after this, we ought to put it out there at the next election for a road millage.
Mhm.
And it either flies or it don't, we tried.
Yep.
And then, like Snyder Road, I don't live on Snyder Road, but I gotta drive that road to get to my house. So I am willing to go under a special assessment to my taxes to upgrade that road.
So I will contact Thomas Greer, which is our township attorney, and get more versed on how we go about that, how they pass, what we have to do, all the steps. And I'll have that ready for that meeting too.
Perfect.
'Cause I know special assessments, I know how they work, you know, but I don't wanna say the wrong thing, and I wanna find out what
And
the
it's
steps we have to do.
nobody's
to do
fault, your fault,
No.
none of the board's fault, my fault. We just are tired of the poor condition of the roads, and we want them to drain water and be bladed in a regular time
They
manner
can't
after.
be ignored anymore. It's gone way past the time.
I mean, I should send them a bill for the Kubota.
Well, we did,
hours I got on
well,
the
we did, no, you didn't do none of that. You didn't do nothing on the road.
No.
But they did the ditches years ago, and they filled in.
Yeah,
You know, those ditches,
because
those big ditches,
drivers ain't trained,
they flatten those roads out.
well, and they
It's
go
on the gravel.
way out to the edge.
Yep.
You know, if you got a road that's 30 feet wide, the new dude that's out there that don't have a clue what he's doing, he's out to the very edge, cause he figured, oh, that's a road.
The edge is all fluffed right now for some reason.
Well, half the road that's in the middle of where we are is in my yard now.
Yeah,
Because everything they put down a few weeks ago is now in my yard.
Yeah.
So actually, I got two things, so what would be the least, if I was saying this wrong, what would be the least invasive to those that don't live in or travel those areas?
What
A
do you mean?
special assessment or a millage?
Okay, a millage goes, we can
Just
use for
thinking of the
all,
population.
a millage we can, everybody in the township pays it, we use it for all the roads. A special assessment is for a certain district. Would be for the people on those roads, those people would pay those. So it's kinda like if the people on, Snyder Road decided to pass it and the people on Seaman didn't, well, Snyder gets their work done, Seaman doesn't. Kind of.
People on Pine Lake Road
So
won't
like a
get
cost
anything.
share.
Yeah.
And then the second thing with the ditches deteriorating, what would cause them to go away? Like,
The drivers, when they do this, okay, back when
I'll push it
Mr.
back.
Scarra worked there, that road had a major crown to it.
Uh-huh.
Because the older, I like all these guys that work there, but the drivers were able to crown the road. Now it's
it's
flat.
all on how you blade the road.
It's experience, it's speed, it's how often it was maintained. I wanna say because we had some road commission people that actually lived out here, our roads got maintained a little better in some way. There was a little more care taken to them, and we don't have those folks that live here, and a lot of the experienced guys, Mr. Neeson, Mr. Klaus, Mr. Scare, they all retired, so if they don't have the experience and the creativity how to create those things. I mean, like our Robinson Road landing, when we did that could never be done today. Those people don't exist in the road commission anymore to do that work, so.
One final thing, is there anyone interested in the new road commission position that's coming up?
Nobody's running for it?
Not that I've heard, no. So start looking.
Does it make a difference on the bus routes versus a regular dirt road?
What do you mean bus routes?
You mean, because your buses have a certain route they travel.
are those roads maintained better than others?
No, all these roads we're talking about are all bus routes. Trust me, I was just on a bus that started at 6 o'clock in the morning on Tuesday, and they're bumpy. Let me
The
tell
only
you.
reason I ask that is, you know, I live on Prunski and Dorothy, which goes towards the old Prunski Park.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You guys know some of that, it's not my fault, I did not do it.
Okay.
The guy grades it every week.
Who grades it every week?
Township does, or the county does. They're out there every week, because the guy's got a piece of property in the middle of the road.
Oh, of course.
Of course.
But I'm just saying,
I don't know who that is.
he
Yeah.
put packed clay on it.
Mhm.
Anybody know what happens to clay when it gets wet?
Oh, yeah.
You do this, you
You
can't
gotta,
go nowhere.
when we clay the roads, or when you clay a road, you gotta make 30 trips up and down it, and it's gotta be mixed and
Right.
broke up.
Well, I asked the guy, I said, why are you down here so much? He goes, well, this is a bus route. No, it's not.
There's a lot of bus routes.
Well, I mean, every road in the township besides Seasonal Road is a bus route. I mean, we
Right.
pretty much go down every single road. Chalker is terrible. 12
Yeah.
Mile is probably the worst because we
Yeah.
only own half of it.
Right.
You guys are
Yeah.
down there building.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean,
We're working
12
on
Mile
it.
is awful. Chalker is, when it rains, Chalker's impassable unless you're in a truck. So it's not just these. I mean, it is some, and yes, we could start adding gravel, but like I said, everybody's gonna have to understand, your road might take 20 years to get to. I mean, because of the amount of money we generate.
Exactly.
Yeah, we do need to start
You
somewhere,
can't
so
ignore it
regardless of
anymore.
that, it should go on the millet.
Even my roads,
Yeah.
the water would run off, they had a nice crown on it. Now when they do it, I mean, I've had a lake in front of my house for 8 years.
Yep.
You know, the whole road, it's still flooded. How long has it been since we had rain?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
They kayak down Snyder.
Snyder Lake.
Yeah, and I hate to say, everybody's roads are gonna be bad this weekend. We got 2.5 inches of rain coming. That's what Mario just told me.
Well, I called
Yeah.
Mr. Solden and thanked him yesterday for all the work that they've done. And I think a pat on the back and a thank you for them making an effort to get out here is a good thing. And no, we shouldn't have to bend over backwards to get their help, but when we get it, we should acknowledge it too.
And I will tell you, there's a hierarchy in supervisors. Dixon and us are not. You know what I mean, as far as where the money
Oh, they're
comes
gonna
from.
cater to,
The money.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
Who's
so
got
the-
multi-million-dollar homes?
Well-
Onekama.
Well, and it's not that they're doing anything wrong, but it is, and it's hard, and we do have to, we do get forgotten sometimes, we are last on the line sometimes, so try to, but I will try to set something up, let's figure out who after the election and all that good.
Just final thing,
How
road
much they
commission
are.
meeting is next week, 10 a.m. and road commission.
Big one. Okay, where's Pelican? Okay, so, Joanne,
I wanted to ask about, the grants that we didn't get last year for recreation, that you were gonna go after again this year. I noticed the Spark one opened on October 24th for
don't know what the spark one
DNR.
is. I don't know what the spark one is, I didn't, with this and with everything else that we've been dealing with, no, I haven't had time to look at any of those.
Okay, I mean, this is just round one, so
Yep.
there are additional rounds.
Hey, anybody wants to write it, go for it. I honestly don't, with this, with the dam, with some of the other stuff that we're dealing with, I don't have, I haven't really put any time in any grants right now.
There's
I'm
probably road money we could get
I'm-
because the state is big into fixing everything.
Well, we need to look
Yeah.
at hiring a grant writer then.
Yeah, maybe we
about-
could get
Fine.
something.
what about Kurt Vanderwall? Could he help us, being that we got this?
He's not
The
in
back
this
one?
He's
district.
not in this district
He's
anymore.
not, we got snow here anymore.
Well, he is, but he's not as much, he's moved up, it's,
Cuts across, or.
yeah, it cuts across, as far as what he's talking about, Scott.
Well,
Get
you
enough
know,
money.
to get us some money.
They're not gonna do money for what we're talking about. They would have to be special cases like that, because there was danger to the town of bringing all those trucks through here.
Right, yeah.
That was a different scenario. This is roads that were built wrong by people 50, 60 years ago, and we're suffering through, I mean, because they pretty much dole out the money for these roads through the whole state the same way. So many miles of roads, you get so much money to plow them, you get so much money to grade them, so much money to obtain them, and that's about it. You know, and with the cost of everything going up, with the cost, you know, the road commission also has to spend that through cost of materials, cost of labor, cost of maintenance, cost of insurance, and that's where it all gets broke down into the pies. So, yeah,
So
so,
on that, back to the grant just for a second. So the $1,000 that was allocated last year, does that still keep the application
Yeah.
open so that the township can apply?
Mr. Fadden, how you doing?
Well, I sent you a text message, I don't know if you got it. We have some events coming up. Our fireworks was confirmed today, we are a go.
Okay,
So we have secured the funds for the fireworks. We've got the Buck Bowl event going on. Jenna's doing her, Thanksgiving dinner here. We're also gonna do a can and bottle drive during the Buck Bowl event. We got a map, a secured map area from, Dwayne. Did I send that to you?
yeah, I got that.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw that.
Three things was kind of concerning. When he's working on the barges, or he's getting things done around the lake, he needs about 6 hours,
Mhm.
100-foot square around his work.
Mhm.
We figured that shouldn't be no problem. He said, the biggest concern he has is people shooting fireworks towards the barge while they're working.
No one does that.
He doesn't, we don't know that, Jason, but he just wants to make sure that we're aware that he,
There was actually a gentleman here with your group last time that he wanted to fight me because he was firing fireworks off, and I had
Yes.
to tell him a couple years
Okay.
ago, so yeah, we
That was-
have to prevent that.
that was a couple of the things he was trying.
Yep.
The other question we wanted to ask you is, there's a couple local bands that would like to play in the park that day. Is there any ordinance or anything against it they can't? They're free of charge, they just want them during the event, during the different events we have. But no, I mean, it was kind of, we didn't know if we were allowed to, or,
I don't think there's anything, I mean, that would be just part of the festivities.
they're not charging us anything. One is the guys that play here, what do they call them, and one of the three guys, what's the name of them? Ones that play here in the township?
The Jammers?
The Jammers.
The Jammers.
Okay.
He was one of them. One of the old guys who do the old music at the Oak Grove, he was another one. They just wanna come and pick
Yeah,
in
I don't-
for the community and just have just wanna make sure that, did I forget anything?
The
No?
Oak Grove band,
Yeah, he said,
and then Jammers.
Oh, we hit 65% today.
awesome. Very good.
We've had some wonderful people, we've had some wonderful phone calls. Everything's just been fantastic, and it's been a wonderful month. A lot of people told me I couldn't get my 501c3, it would take me 6 months to a year. I got it just a little over 2 months. The nice thing about this is it's listed as a fireworks and family fund. I can sponsor up to 5 different events every year for complete donations to any event we need money for the community, as long as it falls under family. Somebody had a family emergency, we wanna do a fundraiser, tax exempt, it'll work.
Awesome.
So it's amazing.
Good, that's awesome.
I don't know how I did it, but the guy was a good old boy from Kentucky, so it was not very hard for me. I talked very well.
Okay.
Thank you very much for
Hey,
everything.
no problem, great, good job, guys, thank you very much, 65, that's awesome. And then one other thing, we will have a meeting, and we might do it on that same night, maybe we'll draw some more people in. After the election, the township supervisors of the county, Mr. Dance, the school superintendents, and our state reps will be meeting to talk about more about the dam, and I'll have more information for you following January, February, after we meet, about what strategy we're gonna do with that, because, the way it's looking right now, we have to figure out something. Yes, ma'am?
Speaking of the dam, so it's in line with that. Have you been contacted by a Brenda Crisp from, you have?
I believe so, yes. I
Okay,
believe
I
in
was
my
just
notes out
thinking-
there, I've got an email coming from her. What was she from? Who was she from?
She's from, the dam south,
Yeah, the one in Indiana, yeah, they're coming from
Yeah.
Indiana, yeah. That came off, so I got that through a person in Houghton Pile, yeah. Because they contacted them, and they contacted me, and then they contacted Daisy Bunning from, yeah.
okay, I
That's-
just wanted to make sure that we're.
She didn't contact me directly, I got it through, Daisy, over there, the supervisor in Dixon. is who I got
Alright,
from.
last I heard from Brenda that she didn't have nothing back from Daisy, so.
Okay.
I could've checked with her.
Well, we're not doing a whole lot until we talk to we wanna get all the politicians on how we're going to attack this, and what we're gonna pursue, and what's the best line of action from here without a lot of, because we don't want people chewing on consumers and they just like, you know, we don't work with you at all. So, but hydroelectric is not, that dam has not turned a profit since 1994. They ran it at a loss since 1994, and they're done doing that. This community cannot support that dam. There's not enough money in the county to run that dam safely. It does not produce the electrical power that people think it does. So we have to figure out something. So, and there's a lot of proposals on, but if I let that out, then everybody's gonna be running wild. We gotta figure out how we're gonna approach this and what's gonna happen. Like I said, it's supervisors, county commissioner, and the school superintendents with a couple of state reps will be meeting after the election. We just postponed everything because we don't know who's all gonna be here. So, all right, so that's that. Let's go on to unfinished business. We have none. And then planning commission resignation. Mr. Kent decided to resign. So I need a motion to accept his resignation.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Who made the motion?
Jason, Jordan second. All opposed? No, so that will be accepted. Okay. Planning commission appointment, I've had 4 different people. I've only been able to talk to 2 of them. As of right now, I still have to talk to a couple other people, so you don't even have a meeting this next month, do you?
Nope.
So we will table that until December.
Yeah, November. We have one in November.
Okay, well, we're gonna table that to December, because I wanna make sure I talk to all these people and figure out what would be the best fit for our planning commission. And I'll
Still
give
have
you
me
all.
down here.
Yeah, I haven't talked to you about that yet either. We have Bill and Mr. Stapley is interested, those 2, and then I have 2 other folks that have contacted me about it too, and I have not been able to really talk to them, so. Okay, so we'll do that in December. Okay, so, the assessing resolution, this is where it's gonna be, the state of Michigan decided to make changes to our assessing policy or to add things in. And they don't bother to do it at the beginning of the year, they do it in November. And then called us all together to have a class and said, hey, you gotta have this stuff by the end of the year. So a lot of this stuff is stuff that we've already done, and I'm just gonna go through these with you of what they are. The first one is a resolution, and we will call this resolution 2022-11 for the 11th month, -01, so the first one in November. And what this is local residents to protest within writing to the Board of Review, which we've always allowed, but now the state says we have to have a resolution saying that we allow it. So, that is all this, that the people now will have the ability to, as they always have had, to appeal to the Board of Review in writing. So they can do it by letter form, they don't have to show up on those days, which we've always heard those anyways, but they want to guarantee it. So I need a roll call vote for the resolution to write in Board of
Motion
Review.
first. I'll make a motion to adopt the resolution.
Okay, I'll second that.
Skira,
Aye.
Ty,
Yeah.
Mobley.
Yep.
Soul, yes. Fraley.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, the next one is another resolution, and we had talked about this before. Onekama and Bear Lake are joining, because we'll go to Board of Review, and can speak on this. We will spend 12 hours here in the March Board of Review, and we'll get 5 people to walk in the building, okay? Dixon gets less. Bear Lake doesn't even have a Board of Review currently, so Bear Lake and Onekama are joining. So this is a resolution that we will join, because the government is wanting us, small townships, to join as many ways that we can. So what'll happen is, for a 2-year period, the Board of Review will be held either in Dixon or Norman, and the people hosting will host, their supervisor and one of their Board of Review members will be present. The non-host will have 2 members present from our Board of Review, and they'll be there for the whole 12-hour weekend or July and December. This does not affect December. This would affect March, July, and December for next year, for the next 2 years. So this will be a resolution. because it's getting really hard for townships to get board of review members. We're really lucky right now. None of the other 3 townships I mentioned are. So this would be joining our board of review with Dixon and Norman for the next 2 years, for a 2-year term. So that's what this resolution is.
I will make a motion to support that, adopt that resolution.
I'll second.
What's the number on that one?
This would be,
I'm gonna do the roll call.
okay, go do the roll first.
Fraley,
Aye.
Sol, yes. Mobley,
Yes.
Ty,
Yes.
Skira,
Yes.
This would be 2022-1102. Okay. All right, so the next one is an exempt property policy. Okay, this basically is a new bulletin from the state that talks about exempt property, so like churches, nonprofits, okay? And it comes with a lovely new form that we have to get the pen on the website. Okay, so if you are a charitable organization, you want to be classified as nonprofit. It's basically just a new 3-page bulletin talking about a court case that you have the rules you have to follow. Basically is a court case that redefined what a charitable organization is and a new form to fill out. So I will make a motion to accept that policy. This does not have to be a roll call vote. This is just a policy that includes the STC, State Tax Commission Bulletin, and new form. Okay, so this is the bulletin,
I will support it.
and that's the new form. Okay? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None. So that'll be 2022, month 11/03. Okay? Personal property policy. All assessors are sworn to do a personal property canvas, which basically we go look and see what personal property you have on your property. So businesses, equipment, stuff like that. You pay property on that. You pay property tax, an extra tax on a meat slicer if you have over $80,000. This is all being phased out in 2 years. But the state thought it would be necessary that we adopt a new policy that we approve the assessor. So it says a canvass of personal property shall be conducted yearly. New personal properties found shall be added to the assessment roll. Assessors don't do this, but we now have to have a policy that we vote on, that we accept that the assessor will be doing that. So this would be no, we don't need a number on this, I'm sorry. So this is just a policy. So I make a motion that we accept the personal property policy for Norman Township.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Now we are at public access to the assessor policy. Okay. This is a policy that we had back when Dave and Ginny were doing it. What this basically says is Dave Meister is still our signing assessor. There is a phone number for him, and there is an email for Great Lakes Assessing that we will return within 7 business days, usually within 24 to 48 hours. So it's just a policy that the assessing company, that we have a policy that we require the assessors to get back with people in a timely manner. They've always done this, but we have to have it in writing.
Would you like to
This
say
is the-
that 10 times fast?
No, I really don't, because that's all it is numbers that they can call, and we will have Bob post this on the website. The Great Lakes has been much more effective than Dave and Ginny. Dave and Ginny were 2 people. Great Lakes is 7 assessors, and there's somebody always there. So we're actually being,
Published policy concerning access.
yes. That we approve the public to access our assessor directly. We always have. But AMAR, which is the state assessing overview policy, they've decided that we have more of these forms. So that's what this is. So this one is gonna be 2022, month 11-03.
Oh,
So,
we've already got 03.
oh, 04. Okay, sorry, 04. Yep, okay, sorry, wrote that down wrong. Okay, so I need a motion, I'll make a motion that we accept
Support.
all in, oh no, you gotta do a roll
So
call.
do I do a roll call?
Yeah, let's do a roll call.
Mobley,
Yep,
Sol, yes. Ty,
Yes.
Skira,
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Last one is, we have to are now required to have an alternate date, which will be our alternate date for our December board of review. We've never had to have alternate dates, now we have to have an alternate date, it's required. And we are gonna use this alternate date actually, so it'll be December 14th. So we need a resolution, and that'll be 05, to adopt December 14th as our alternate date for December board of review.
I will make a motion to adopt this resolution.
Second.
Go ahead, Mary.
Ty,
Yes.
Skira,
Yes.
Sol, yes, Fraley,
Yeah.
Mobley.
Is December the only one that has an alternate date?
This year it is, yeah.
Why is that? Is it because of the way it falls, or?
The way it falls, and we had, usually July omissions, there's a lot less. And then November, you can't deviate. We've actually been, our November one that we hold on Saturday, we always have hold on Saturday, is not allowed. We can't hold them on Saturdays, yeah. So that will not be held this Saturday, yeah.
Noon Saturday.
It will not be that way anymore, no. That has changed too, but we don't have to worry about that till next year, we'll adopt that next year. So, and these are just things, these are actual forms that the state just wants in your binder. That's all they are. So, that's why we had to adopt them. So. Okay, so, we have, okay, so now we can go into the fire department, extractor and slop sink, or what do you call it? Just big sink?
Slop sink. That sounds so much better.
Well, that's what they are. What they used to be called, remember those big old concrete things were doubled in grandma's basement? That's what they were called, slop sinks.
Robin will start cooking what's brewing there.
So I make a motion that we allow the fire department $6,500 to get the extractor and to get the tub and do what they need to do.
Skira seconded.
Second.
Okay?
Are we using the COVID money?
Yeah.
We have to vote.
Oh, let's vote, okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None. Where are we at on COVID funds right now?
Okay. We spent this much on basketball hoops.
Yep. Yep.
No, that's the park equipment. This is the
Hoops.
basketball hoops. The 50%, we paid this much to the dock, and we owe them that much more.
Okay,
Seal coating, that was a seal coating.
yep,
This is the 50% down on the roof, so
Yep.
it totals this. And with what we still owe balance on this and this, we would have spent a total of 126, 235.
and we got one,
And we've got 161, so our balance is 34,000.
I say we take the 65 out of that, that'll still leave us 28,000.
We can do that.
You guys, everybody okay with that? Okay,
Okay.
yeah, so let's take that out of there. All right. Now I need a motion to go into closed session. We have
I'll make-
an employee,
Ty, did you make it? Oh, I can make the motion.
Meryl seconds.
Okay.
All right, we'll be right back, and talk about something real quick.
Well, I think, you know, in our situation, we need to go knock on doors, or I do, to see who's willing to, I don't know if you guys
Can we get
wanna.
a petition started for our road and our neighbors, the sign to get stuff for the county to start moving forward on it?
Yeah, you probably.
I mean, we can start here, obviously.
Right.
But then we also need to pressure the road commission too.
Right, and I think that's what I'm saying, after we get a new road commissioner that represents this area.
Should be you.
Judy, are you gonna
Why
go to
aren't you
that
on it
meeting?
for that?
Oh, you've got the experience.
That's right.
Because so many of the roads that always used to be crowned are just as flat
Yeah,
as
right.
flat
I mean,
could be now.
Dillon's Road,
It's terrible.
terrible. Our road,
Snorkel to go through
It's a disaster.
And then the one,
And, the people.
Yours isn't much better either.
Chicago Avenue, yeah.
Well, they fixed it, and then you had a mud bog, I heard.
They fix it up to, the campground. And then west of that.
Yeah, they
Huff
got-
isn't any better.
No, that's what I was gonna say, Huff, I know there's people.
See, we
that
gotta
are
make
upset.
them responsible for what they're getting paid for.
And that's what,
And we don't need to dig in the township pocket, or my pocket, or whose ever.
right,
This is what they're there for. I've worked there 32.5 years.
regardless if we got,
And
less
if
people
a
than
road
whatever.
went to hell,
doesn't
We got the most
matter.
roads, so.
Right.
and if a road went to hell, they rolled the scrapers and the graders out there and we fixed it.
but what
Now he wants to make a project out of everything
so they can make money.
so they can make money.
It's all about the money, about making money, not about just investing what they have in their roads. They wanna make a profit. But the only way to keep them accountable, I mean, we have this level of government. So then we call the road commission. If they have deaf ears like they have had for months and months, then we go to the road commissioner.
No, the county
No,
commission.
no, the road commissioner, cause they govern over the road commission. If they don't do what they're supposed to do, then we go to the county commission, who governs over the road commission, and it has to keep going.
Right.
And that's why they're
And that's
starting
what I
to
mean,
move, I think, because we actually have been
Cause they
raising
realize
hell.
we got a voice.
We're not
Right.
shutting up.
Yeah, right.
That's why I don't know
I mean, you got a $50,000 vehicle and you gotta crawl down the road because the fenders will be bulged out from
That's
the
what
tires hitting so
I'm
hard.
like 10 to
the
15
seasonal
miles
road
an
that
hour we
runs
go.
to Cross Tippy or whatever,
Oh, yeah.
that's in better condition than Snyder half
Yeah.
the time.
Well, now it is, yeah, yeah. But yeah, but
And
you
they
have to
got-
go down
they
to the
have
old
all the
house and
equipment
cross
Right,
over.
to do
exactly.
it. But see, they want that 50-50 match because they gotta pay their employees whether they're working on Seaman Road or if they're patching blacktop. And we're gonna pick up all the material cost. It's a win-win for them.
Yeah.
We
But we
can't,
gotta start
we
somewhere.
can't
have
ignore
to
it.
start
I don't
somewhere.
care if we fix half a road in
Right.
1 year, who cares?
Right.
We have to do something, we cannot
Well,
ignore
what I
it.
don't understand is like, why do you have to, like, fix a full stretch? Why can't you, like, okay, well, Snyder from here to here needs to be fixed, and from,
Right,
Chicago.
figure out what is
you
the
know, from
worst,
wherever.
Yeah.
where's the worst
And it's like,
spots in the
let's fix that
drug
section.
And maybe